mathematicians. We are going to look at adding and subtracting mixed numbers again today. Specifically, we are going to focus on when we subtract the mixed numbers, the first fraction is too small. Okay? So we're going to focus on subtraction today and when this situation happens. For example, in this problem, if I were to take 1/4 minus 3/4, I cannot do this without getting a negative number. Okay? I don't want a negative fraction because I have a whole number here. I can take parts of this whole number to make this work. So when a situation like this happens, where the first fraction is too small, go ahead and make them improper fractions. For example, 8 1/5 minus 3 3/5. If I go to take the fraction pieces, I get 1/5 minus 3/5. When I subtract these, I would get a negative fraction. I don't want a negative number because I have a whole number out front. So I'm going to change both of these to improper fractions. To do that, we do 8 times 5, which is 40. Plus 1, 41, over the same bottom, 5. We're going to do the same thing with this mixed number. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 3 is 18 over the same bottom, which is 5. Now that they are improper fractions, we can subtract those just fine. So subtract across the top 41 minus 18. We get 23 over 5. We know that this is improper, so I'm going to have to make it a mixed number now. Our final answer cannot have a too big of a numerator. So 5 fits into 23 4 times, which is 20. So how many are left over? 3/5 are left over. So if you cannot subtract the fraction parts of a mixed number without getting a negative, make them both improper, subtract, and get your answer. Nice job. Let's take a look at number 2. When I go to do my fraction pieces, 1/3 minus 5/6. Add or subtract? Make your shoes match. Do our shoes match here? Do we have common denominators? No. So the first thing I have to do here is get matching shoes. 3 and 6, what is the match? 6 will work. You could have used 12 or 18 as well. 3 times what is 6? Times 2. What you do on bottom, you must do on top. 2 times 1 is 2. The 6 does not change, so does the 5 change? No. What's our problem here? We can't subtract these without getting negative numbers, and I have a whole number. So I'm going to bring down my whole numbers, and I'm going to make these improper fractions. 6 times 6, 36, plus 2, 38 over 6. We're going to do the same thing here. 4 times 6, 24, plus 5, 29 over 6. Now we can go ahead and subtract those. 38 minus 29 is 9 over 6. The top is too big, so 6 goes into 9 once, with 3 pieces left over. Simplify 3, 6. Let's divide both by 3. 1 1/2. subtract your fraction pieces, get matching denominators or matching shoes. We could not subtract because this one was too small, so I made them improper. Go ahead and solve 1 1/2. Go ahead and try this next one on your own. Let's see how you did. When I take our fraction pieces, 2/5 minus 6/10, add or subtract? Make your shoes match. What is the match for 5 and 10? 10. 5 times what is 10? 2. What do I do on bottom? I must do on top. 2 times 2 is 4. Does the 10 change? Nope, so 6 does not change. What's wrong here? 4 minus 6 will give me a negative number, and I have a whole number, so I don't want that to happen. So you should have brought down your whole numbers, and let's make these improper fractions. 5 times 10 is 50 plus 4, 54, all over our bottom 10. What did you do here? 2 times 10 is 20, plus 6, 26 over 10. Now you should have been able to subtract these. Okay, and 54 minus 26, what did you get? 28 over 10. You could have either simplified these first or made it a mixed number. 10 goes into 28 twice, 8 pieces left over. And lastly, simplify this fraction, divide them both by 2. So you get 2, 8 divided by 2 is 4 over 5. Add or subtract, make your shoes match. We could not subtract 4 minus 6 without getting a negative, so I go ahead and make these improper. Subtract, simplify, and solve. Nice job. For a problem like this, 7 does not have a fraction piece. So there are a couple things that we can do with this. Okay? I can break this up as 6 and a whole. 6 and 1 whole makes 7. When I choose my 1 whole, I'm going to choose 3/3 so I have a matching denominator. So 6 and 1 whole give me 7. Again, I chose 3/3 as my whole piece, so my shoes matched. Now when I subtract my fraction pieces, 3/3 minus 2/3, I can subtract these just fine. 3 minus 2, 1/3. And now if I subtract the whole pieces, 6 minus 1 is 5. So break up 7 so it has a fraction piece, 6 and 1 whole. So you're always going to go down 1 to 6 and you'll leave your whole piece. Go ahead and try this next one on your own. 8 does not have a fraction piece, so break it up as 7 and a whole. Let's see how you did. How did you break 8 up so it had a fraction? Go down 1 to 7. When you chose your whole piece or your fraction, make sure that the bottom matches. And if it's a whole, 4 is on bottom, 4 must be on top. 4 over 4 make a whole. So 7 and 1 whole make 8. Now we can subtract these fraction pieces. 4/4 minus 3/4 leaves us 1/4. Subtract your whole pieces. 7 minus 3 is 4. 4 and 1/4. Break up your whole number so it has a fraction piece. Go down 1 to 7 and make a whole so it matches. Then you'd be able to subtract. Nice job today, mathematicians.